got my co-host Kyle. Say what's up.
Let's get this shit going, baby.
Ring your boy.
I tried to tell y'all.
Ring this boy. Not for football. Not for football. Ring my man.
Yes, sir. It's in the bag. It truly is.
Hell yeah, bro. Happy for you.
Thanks. But what's going on, guys? It's the Day One podcast. You already know what it is. We're not gonna talk about the things we usually talk about to start the show, how we ask you to like and subscribe and do all those types of things.
I mean, still do that, please.
Yeah, but
Free. Doesn't
yeah.
cost you anything.
Yeah. But there are more things that are important in the world. Those of you who don't know, during the Chiefs Super Bowl parade, there was a mass shooting in Kansas City towards the end of the parade. 22 were hurt, 1 was killed. 9 of the 22 that were wounded were children between the ages of 5 and 16. Our heart goes out to those affected, everybody there, everybody around the world that has experienced something similar and feels for the people there. I personally have never had to deal with something like that. I mean, you read the articles, you see it on the TV, and you feel for people, but you don't truly know unless you were involved in it. And you and I are pretty young, so we've done the shooter drills at school and the lockdowns and the things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me think about where society has gone wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of conversation over the last few years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been an issue, but more or less in the last 5 to 10 years, it's just been magnified much more. And it almost seems like every day you turn on the news and there's a situation just like this everywhere, like anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
This is happening. And there's absolutely no place for that, especially at a Super Bowl parade.
Yeah. And you think of the thing that really breaks my heart is that I've always looked at sports as the greatest unifier on the planet. It doesn't matter your race, your political background, your gender, your affiliation, whatever it is. There you can talk to a complete stranger that you've never met before at a bar stool, and it bullshit. You know what I mean? Just bullshit. Talk about the game that you're watching and just be in the present with somebody, whether you know them or you don't. And it's when you see somebody, I don't know, you've probably experienced this a lot because you're an Eagles fan in PA, but as a Jets fan, I'll see somebody wearing a hat and I'll just be like, yo, dude, is this the year? What are we talking about? And we'll just have a quick 10 to 15 minute conversation with somebody I never known before. Because we're the same fan of the same team.
Yeah.
And for something like this to happen at a Super Bowl parade, in times like this where cities are overrun with racism and the gender identification stuff and just nothing but hate, and a time like a Super Bowl parade is where everybody comes together, and for something like this to happen, it sucks. Because I've always looked at sports as an escape for myself. I've told you this off camera before. There was a time where I didn't really know what I wanted to do day to day. I didn't have a purpose to wake up. And I started falling in love with basketball right after high school. And I had something to look forward to because I became a fan of a team, and basketball is an everyday thing. And it's oh, well, I get to watch the Warriors play tomorrow or the Lakers play the Bucks. That's a big game. You know what I mean?
Playing right now, bro.
Yeah. Sports is something that you can look forward to. And when something like this happens in a sporting event, there's always going to be a stigma around it now, especially like a moment like a Super Bowl parade, and it's just terrible. And it truly makes me question who we have making decisions for us, because I mean, we can vote at the booths all we want, and you can come from whatever political background you want, and it just doesn't seem to matter what we decide to do and what we choose, because at the end of the day, the people with the power are going to make those decisions regardless of how the everyday citizen feels.
Right.
And
I mean, not to make this a political show, because we're not.
no,
I mean,
but it's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, the people that have been in power over the majority of like the last 40-ish years, they really don't give a shit about stuff like that.
No, they don't. I don't even, and it doesn't even have to do with like gun rights or anything like that. It's any political conversation. Like, it feels like
Just beating a dead horse.
People aren't trying to get in office anymore to make things better for the country. They're getting in office to keep the other political party out of it. And no one wants to make a decision anymore. And I don't care what political background you are. Nobody read those articles about what happened in Kansas City and felt good. And if you did, you're a sick fuck, and I hope you die.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't understand. Everybody that's making decisions for us is just power hungry. And my grandfather told me something once. He said, if power gets heavy, and the longer you hold on to it, the more pieces of yourself you have to leave behind. And I think that there's just empty shells running our country right now. And maybe it's because there's Democrats in there and it'll change when there's Republicans. But honestly, I don't think it will. No, because they're going to be making different decisions just to keep the other party out of it. And no one wants to just agree on anything.
Yeah. And you look at the age, like the average age of those politicians, it's like 70 something. Like these people should not be running our country. I'm sorry. Regardless of the political stance. Yeah. Think about these people should be like in a senior home making decisions for arguably the biggest, most prosperous country in the entire world history. Like,
not even that. They're making decisions. I mean, and let's be real. Like these,
they're so out of touch, bro.
Yeah, let's be real. Like, these people are making decisions to benefit them for 5 years. And what's going to happen to people like us who've got another 50 to 60?
Yeah.
Like,
pretty much. Yeah.
And I don't know exactly where we go from here. Like, these boomers and shit that are in politics right now, like, they didn't grow up and have a surprise shooter drill and feel horrified for themselves like we have before.
Yeah, that's practically everywhere you go, you have to worry about that.
Yeah, and the thing is, we've been graduated 4 years, and it's only gotten worse. 5 years now. It's only gotten worse. And I don't know what's going on in the schools now. They've got to be doing a whole lot more than what we were doing when it comes to drills and shit like that. Like, how do you get in? It's just, and it all goes back to that we just can't make decisions to make things better. And the longer you're stale, like, and I'll refer it back to sports again. Like, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Right.
I mean, if you're not,
that's what as a country, as a governing body, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
We've just been getting worse because we haven't been getting better.
Yeah. And I sure as hell don't have the answers, but there's somebody out there that does and doesn't want to do them.
It's a long, deep-rooted problem that stems probably 60, 70 years. And we could sit here for days on this particular program, breaking it down, giving our thoughts, but that's not the type of program that we're on. But no. I mean, again, you hate to see at a parade celebrating the biggest accomplishment of a football team, of a city that has a football team, to have a shooting there. It is just, it's unacceptable and unexplainable. Like, me witnessing my own not that I live in Philly, but my own city had a Super Bowl parade. I think like there's probably like 3 or 4 million people that showed out at that event. I cannot imagine that being mired in something like this. Like that parade was like the single happiest day of every Philadelphian ever.
Dude, there was a buzz here, and we're 2 hours from Philly, 3 hours from Philly.
Yeah.
There was a buzz around here. So
About that, yeah. Like I just could not imagine. It's not fathomable, like if that happened, because I know the magnitude of a Super Bowl parade,
yeah.
but it's just unacceptable, and our hearts go out to all the families affected,
Yeah.
and obviously the city of Kansas City.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. As a society, we need to do better.
Yeah.
There's just no excuse.
Yeah. I don't to wrap it up, I don't know exactly where we go from here. And honestly, I'm not going to sit here and act like it hurts me as much as it should, because I wasn't there. I don't know those people. And that's a natural human reaction to just
Right.
And it's so gross because we're numb to it at this point, to where, like, I mean, are we honestly going to think about this a week from now? No, we're not, because no one's going to drill it into our heads that shit needs to change, because nobody wants it to. The people in power don't want it to. So
because it doesn't benefit them, bro.
No, it doesn't benefit them. So
bro, I could go on for hours on this program about that topic.
Yeah.
And I'm not a very political person, but
me neither.
Bro, I could jump down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. And and maybe it's people like us that we have a super small platform, but more and more people need to talk about it in this moment.
Yeah.
And people need to cause an issue, because it's getting gross. But no, to wrap it up, our hearts go out to everybody in Kansas City, everybody around the world that felt that moment, because it's just terrible. It's just gross. But we're going to continue on with the show. We're going to do what we do best, and we're going to try to entertain some people.
And we're going to talk sports.
We're going to talk sports, because we'll leave that conversation about that stuff up to somebody that actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. Not that we don't know somewhat what we're talking about.
No.
Our expertise is not in politics.
No.
It is in the world of sports.
It is.
Speaking of the world of sports, a lot has happened since our last show. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to recap the game. We're going to talk about what it means for both teams going into the offseason, things that are already spiraling with the NFL. And, also All-Star break is on the horizon.
Yep.
For NBA. So that's going to be an all-time classic weekend in Indianapolis. So that being said, drop a like, comment, subscribe, do all of that stuff. Turn on the bell, turn on post noties, so you do not miss a thing. We talk about it at the end of every show. We'll say at the beginning of the show, your ass can afford Cricket Wireless, bro. Anybody can get Cricket Wireless. Get your ass to the local Walmart. Get yourself a mobile device, iPhone, iPad, Android, Samsung, whatever it is. Flip phone, because they're coming back out.
Are they really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Samsung has like a touch screen flip phone. It is the craziest thing.
Yeah, I ain't buying that.
Hey, y'all can flip your phone up and watch the Day One podcast.
Facts.
So drop a like, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Yeah, dude. So we need to discuss the Super Bowl and just how incredible it was. So let's be real. All right. This game was an absolute snoozer in the first half.
For the first 3 quarters, bro, my propaganda, I was having a ball, because I was on full hater mode. And for the first 45 minutes of that game, I was like, bro, I tried to tell y'all, this is fucking trash, bro. 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. Like, I mean, it was a great defensive battle, but like everybody was hyping this up to be what the Super Bowl was last year. It just wasn't it. But once we got to the fourth quarter and overtime, hey, it turned into a game.
Yeah, it sure as hell did. Yeah, the game started out slow. I believe it was 10-3 at half, something like that.
Yep, San Fran was up 10-3 at the half.
And it ended in a 25-22 victory for the Kansas City Chiefs. So shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs for proving me right, to be honest.
And saving my propaganda.
Yeah, and saving your propaganda. So it doesn't surprise me at all that we're sitting here as the Chiefs are now the defending champions once again. But hey, dude, even I had some doubts during the season with this offense.
Yeah, bro. I think we all did. Me especially, because I mean, you looked at just the league in general, and me looking at it, comparing the Chiefs and the Eagles and our struggles being very similar. Back then, I was like, the media is making such a big deal about us struggling and still winning, or like just not looking the same. But the Chiefs don't look the same. But hey, the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do. Once the playoffs come, the switch turns and they win the bowl. And then we're sitting here like, hey, we should have saw it coming.
Yeah.
But I will say, looking back on that, like, we heard the reports about the Eagles and the outside noise kind of getting to them and kind of kickstarting that 6-7 game skid at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I just look at that, and then I look at how the Kansas City Chiefs handled their adversity. Like, they've been there. Like, that the organization, the coaching staff, the leaders in place, they've been there with that adversity. Not so much the injury adversity, because I mean we have had adversity with that and still won a Super Bowl, but like just coming off of a Super Bowl, high expectations, and then like just dealing with adversity, things just not working how they should. We let it get to us, and the Chiefs didn't, and that's why the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl, and that's why they won. Because I mean, we even saw it like in the first half of that game, they were beating themselves.
Yeah, they were.
And they came out the second half and they did what they do.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, and the Chiefs could have gotten blown out in this game. Truly, like they had five fumbles, only one lost. So they end up winning the turnover battle.
Yeah.
When they probably should have lost it, even if it was 50-50 on the turnovers. But you know what it is in the second half? That GOAT tandem, dude, got it done. Patrick Mahomes was sensational in the fourth quarter and overtime. Travis Kelce was at half with one catch for 1 yard. He ended the game with 9 catches for 93. Led the team in yards. It was honestly a spectacle, and I felt like once it hit the fourth quarter and the game was close, I didn't really have any doubt, even when the Niners went up 3 in overtime.
Yeah,
when they got the ball,
everybody felt the same way about it, though.
Yeah,
like we knew what was about to happen, even in overtime when the Niners scored the field goal, which we'll discuss that whole debacle. But even when they went up 3, it was just like, we know Patrick Mahomes with 4 downs every time is going to go down and get a touchdown.
Yep.
Barring anything crazy, and nothing crazy happened. Pat Mahomes just walked them down the field, touchdown on corn dog.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, and I'm gonna take my first victory lap of the show because I said last week that you need to watch out for a specific player on the Kansas City Chiefs.
You did.
And that man's name is Mecole Hardman. All right. I tried to tell
bro.
y'all.
Listen, I sat up here and said, yeah, bro, hey.
I tried to tell y'all.
And what happened? Game-winning touchdown. Mecole Hardman.
he had a quarter of his yards of the entire season in this game. He had 3 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown. The game-winning touchdown ended.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I don't even know if my analysis of what the game was going to be was correct when I said McCole Hardman was going to do it, but I'll take a winning victory lap. I felt that speed on the outside has hurt the Niners all playoffs. Like when a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs was getting on the outside and Jameson Williams, just guys moving with the ball, running around the offensive line, it's hurt them. Especially when Dre Greenlaw went out.
Yeah. And to be fair, bro, like Steve Wilkes had that defense cooking, especially in the first half. Like they were holding the Chiefs down.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
we're not getting much done like down the field.
Yeah, I mean, Pacheco ran the ball okay, 18 carries for 59 yards, 3.3 average, which is awful, but they were shutting him out. There weren't many big plays in the first half.
Like at all. They ended up turning the ball over right after that.
Yeah, that was a deep shot, right?
Yep. To who else?
McCole Hardman.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mahomes, dude, he just continues to do crazy shit. He had 9 carries for 66 yards in this game as well, led the team. Just back-breaking third down conversions with his legs. Like that, like I think the biggest moment of the bowl for me was that 4th down in
one.
Yeah, the 4th and 1. Kelsey goes out to block as an option for a shovel pass, and Patrick Mahomes takes it and gets like 12 yards pickup on 4th down.
Yep.
That's what the greatest offensive play caller of all time draws up, and those 2 guys are the perfect ones to execute it because they've been in the moment before. Yeah, dude, it just does not surprise me that the game ended as it did. Even when the Niners were up, I was like, well, if they're not going to get up 3 touchdowns, I'm not confident Kansas City's going to lose.
Yeah. And even in that, like in the 4th quarter and in overtime with those back-breaking plays, I was sitting there watching it like they did the same shit to us last year.
Same shit
again.
Yeah. It's just what they do. Like, and I don't really have a way to explain it. MVS has been getting shit all year, maybe not to the point of Kadarius Toney. 2-time Super Bowl champion, Kadarius Toney. Let's get it right. But
bro's the dude that did nothing and got A on the group project.
Yeah, facts. Like, I mean, this team led the league in drops. Excuse me. The team. This team led the league in drops. MVS was a big part of that, including Kadarius Toney. And he showed up all playoffs. MVS had that big time catch in the AFC Championship game to send him here. He had 3 catches for 20 yards and a touchdown. I saw a parlay that somebody cashed out on Twitter. They had Jawan Jennings, MVS, and McCole Hardman for a touchdown. It was $10 to win like $35,000, and they cashed it out to win $10.
Tough.
So you hate to see that, truly.
Facts.
But
tough, bad beats, bro.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
I also know someone that bet on the ESPN bet platform for MVS to not score a touchdown, and they did.
Yep.
That individual was myself.
I also know an individual that put together his first free bet in over 2 months on ESPN bet on a parlay and hit. That guy was me.
You are him.
I am him. I tried to tell y'all.
Yeah, but hopefully I hit mine tonight, but that's beside the point.
But no, I have some questions I want to ask you. Get your thoughts on them.
Yep.
So, Patrick Mahomes has now won 3 Super Bowls in his first 6 years. So half of his playing years, he's won the big game. 5 of the 6, he's been to the AFC Championship game. And in the 6-year stretch since he's been there, he's won 3 Super Bowls. So my question is, do you believe Kansas City is a dynasty, right? At this point?
Yeah. I mean, you look, was it 3 Super Bowls in 5 years?
Yep.
I would say that's a dynasty. You look at the New England Patriots, the first go around, they won it 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
That's a dynasty.
Yeah.
The Niners in the 80s, with their 3 or 4 out of like 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs are a dynasty, bro. There's not much else I can say. 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. They did it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have very different teams every single time.
Yeah.
They did it. 2019, prolific offense.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Last year.
Was Kareem Hunt still there that year?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Last year, young defense, relied on the offense again, but I mean, Mahomes and Travis Kelce carried, and Isaiah Pacheco emerged as a guy. And then this year, great defense.
Yep.
So they did it different every year, which is impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's honestly without like the overall roster changing too much either. I mean, they've added pieces
guys
on
getting
defense.
More experience.
Yeah, guys getting more experience, different guys stepping up. And you're absolutely right. It is crazy to think about that they've done it different every year. Like, I don't know. Next year is going to be interesting because they're definitely going to get a receiver. They have no doubts that they need a receiver. They're aware of that.
Yeah, bro.
Rashee Rice.
Imagine like D-Hop.
Yeah. I think
the Chiefs, bro.
I think looking at how Rashee Rice has played this year, including the playoffs, he didn't have the greatest game in the Super Bowl. I mean, he did have 6 catches, but only for 39 yards. I think there was a game plan out there to shut him down.
Right.
But
yeah.
But he's been great all year as a rookie. He's going to go into his second year. He's going to be better. I think he has a chance to be maybe a top 15 receiver next year. At worst, he'll be a low end 1.
Yeah, I agree.
If they had a great 2 or even a 1, like Diggs or someone that might be available, they're not going anywhere. We should expect them to three-peat.
Yeah, especially with Travis Kelce saying he ain't going nowhere. They're three-peating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. They should be the odds-on favorite as of today to go back to back to back. As much as it pains me to say it, like, because we'll talk about the Niners in a second, but I think the NFC is wide open, and I think we can capitalize. But the Chiefs, it's the Chiefs Invitational.
Yeah, there's not a single team in the league that I'm comfortable I can say can make a Super Bowl run other than the Chiefs next year. Not a single one. Mainly because, I mean, the Bengals maybe because Burrow will be healthy, but we don't know what's going to happen with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I think they said T. Higgins is getting the franchise tag, but yeah, Tyler Boyd is a question mark.
Yeah, and they have nothing outside of him. I mean, you have 2 great receivers, but you need depth.
Yeah. Chase and T. Higgins are great, just like AJ and Smitty. But outside of those 2, it's just like,
it's slim pickings.
Yeah, bro, it is.
Yeah, so they should absolutely be the odds-on favorite next year. They're going to get another receiver. This team's going to be better. The cap hit doesn't get much bigger for Mahomes because he signed a team-friendly deal, even though it was $500 million.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's not like they're stressing for cap space.
No.
I mean, we'll talk about it in a second when we get to the Niners, but I have an interesting stat about cap space. But Chiefs, they got cap space, so they could go out and get like a Stephon Diggs or a D-Hop. It could happen, bro.
It could, and it probably will, to be honest.
Bro, it's going to be like the 2018 Golden State Warriors all over again.
I have a feeling this is going to be Reed and Kelsey's last ride. Because I think they're going to go for the three-peat, and if they win it, they're both going to go.
I don't know about Andy Reid, but Travis Kelce for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know about Andy Reid again, that's a little bit too much speculation for me. I know Travis Kelce's at his end
Yeah.
because him and Jason are at their end. But
Yeah.
Andy Reid, I don't know, bro. I don't know. That one remains to be seen. But yeah, bro. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs for becoming the NFL's newest dynasty.
Yep.
I could stomach that much more than the San Francisco 49ers winning the Super Bowl. So, Pat, thank you for doing your best Tom Brady rendition when it mattered most.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
And moving over to the Niners side, the main question that I have to you is, who is the bigger choke artist, Brock Purdy or Kyle Shanahan?
It's Kyle Shanahan. I'm going to be honest, bro. Listen, I'm doing my victory lap.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Victory lap, bro. But I'm gonna keep it a buck though. Brock Purdy played a pretty decent game.
Yeah.
He played a pretty decent game.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple throws that, you know, he probably could have had back and kind of got lucky that they weren't picked.
Yep.
But I mean, he did more than what a game manager would, but he did less than what a game changer would.
Yeah.
He was just kind of in that middle, didn't really make too many mistakes, but he didn't make any like wow plays. Like,
no.
So I would say Kyle Shanahan. You look now at the resume, he has had 10-point leads in all 3 of his Super Bowls that he's been a part of, whether it's as an offensive coordinator or a head coach. And he lost.
Mm-hmm.
How, bro? Especially going into the 4th quarter, you have double-digit leads every time.
Yeah.
How do you give that shit away?
I don't know. I mean, let's be
really
fair. He was playing.
Do I really have room to talk? Because we gave away a 10-point lead at halftime. But yeah, bro. I mean, some of the decisions that Kyle Shanahan made in this game were kind of questionable, like the lack of usage for CMC in the run game.
Yes.
Questionable. I understand the fumble in the first drive, which was hilarious. It was great.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's the reason why you are here. Let's just be honest. The defense and Christian McCaffrey is the reason y'all are here.
Yep.
Use him, bro.
Yeah.
Use him.
Yeah, and if you look at the basic box score, it's not you would think that he was used because he had 22 carries for 80 yards, 8 catches for 80 yards. He had 160 yards and a touchdown total. But it was very clear to me. It was very clear to me in the 3rd quarter they went away from the run game.
Yeah, and that's what's happened every time Kyle Shanahan's been in the Super Bowl. Second half, they go away from the run game. And then they wonder why they don't have a 10-point lead anymore.
Yeah, and he's always, even if he hasn't had a guy like CMC, he's had a good overall run game. I mean, it was Devontae Freeman in the backfield for Atlanta, correct? He was a dog that year.
He was a Pro Bowler that year.
Yeah, he might have been. He was a dog. Maybe not the greatest talent, but the run game itself was really good. I believe the year it was the Niners. Who was it then? Was it Jeff
Mostert and Elijah Mitchell?
Yeah, that's a good tandem to have. We just saw Raheem Mostert get not snubbed, but just came short of an offensive player of the year.
Yeah,
he was the number 2 back this year.
Yep. And Elijah Mitchell was pretty decent.
Yeah, yeah. Last year he would have been a 1,000-yard rusher if he didn't get hurt. So,
and if Christian McCaffrey didn't steal his job.
Yeah. So I don't know, dude. I thought Purdy played a pretty good game. I think he lost it for them, but Shanahan definitely choked because you went away from the run game.
I wouldn't even say Purdy lost them the game. I feel like Kyle Shanahan lost them the game more than Brock Purdy did. Brock Purdy didn't do them any favors of winning them the game, but I wouldn't say like he completely lost them the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he in the second half was not great.
No.
At all. But you got to look at Kyle Shanahan in those situations
Yeah.
with like what are you doing? And then overtime when your players don't even know the new rules.
Yep.
And like Kyle Juszczyk said it in the post-game press conference, and then a couple of days later tried to walk it back. The mic'd up came out. He said it on the field, like, "Oh, I didn't even know like the new overtime rules, like they get the ball too. I didn't even know." So don't even try to walk it back, bro. Y'all did not know the rules, and that falls on Kyle Shanahan and the coaching staff for not having those guys prepared and not having the proper plan going into that session of overtime. I will say, though, in his defense, taking the ball after your defense was on the field for 11 plays against Patrick Mahomes, I can see it. But at the same time, for your players to be like, "Oh, I didn't know what the overtime rules were. I thought it was like when my grandpappy watched football. Overtime, whoever scores a touchdown first wins, or whoever scores first wins." Listen, the future's now, old man. Those aren't overtime rules anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it definitely falls on Kyle Shanahan. And like I said last week, he loses the Super Bowl in this fashion. We look at him as a great offensive mind with a prolific system, but situationally, he just can't get it done.
Yeah. Like it makes you wonder if a guy like Brian Daboll, who was consistently himself winning them games last year for the Giants, like you wonder like if a guy like that had a situation like Shanahan does, would he get the job done? I mean, it's if buts and maybes, and we don't do that in a program. But yeah, it was definitely a choke job for Shanahan, and maybe part of it has to do with he lost the first one to the greatest quarterback of all time. And then the next two, he lost to the guy coming for the GOAT and trying to replace Tom Brady. So,
yeah. But
maybe there's some of that baked
you
in
have
there.
him on the ropes, bro.
Yes.
Just get away from the run. Like we've seen in every Super Bowl or in every meaningful game.
Yeah.
If you can dominate and control the time of possession, control line of scrimmage, be able to use the run game to your advantage, you're going to win more often than not.
It's a simple question. Can you tote?
Kyle Shanahan said no.
No, he said I can't tote.
His answer was no.
No.
Which I don't get. You have Christian McCaffrey, bro, the best running back in the league. And situationally, you just not giving him the ball.
He might be the most talented running back to ever live.
I mean, I don't know if he can that far right now.
He led the league in rushing 3 times. He's had a 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing yard season, and that wasn't even his best year because his best year was this year. He can do things with the ball in open field. He can bounce off of tackles. He's elusive. He can catch it like a receiver. He does not have a single hole in his game.
Yeah.
Like he's a better version of Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's too soon for
Too soon. I mean, he's been in the leagues like 7 years now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but
he might. I'm just saying, like talent-wise, he might be the most talented running back to ever play.
He very well could be. So for Kyle Shanahan to in situations, because you bring up the box score, like he got touches.
Yeah.
But like situationally, when you needed to give him touches, MIA.
Yeah. Can't tote.
Not that CMC can't tote. Kyle Shanahan won't let him tote.
Yeah. I'm bringing a sign to the next Niners game that says "Let him tote."
Let him tote.
Yeah, I just don't get it, dude. It's insane.
I don't get it
And
either.
to give the Niners credit too, I told you this stat last week. Like the Kansas City Chiefs have been allowing an average of 3.5 points per second half since like week 6, and the Niners tripled that in the second half. They outscored themselves in the second half compared to the first. They scored points, and it's not like they had a dud on offense. Like I think a lot of it has to come down to the Kansas City Chiefs just win close games. They just do. That's what I said. I said, listen, last week we were sitting here and I was like, all right, the game's going to be close. I predicted 20-17. It ended up being a 3-point game anyways in the Chiefs' favor.
Predicted a 3-point game.
Yeah. You were like, I think it's going to be not quite 20-17. I think it's going to be 21-17. Yeah, 21-18. I was like, oh, thanks. But this is what the Chiefs do, dude. They hang around, they get a momentum play like the McCole Hardman ball. They screwed up after that, but it got the juices flowing. And the last 4 drives that Patrick Mahomes had, touchdown, field goal, touchdown. Game over.
Yep. Yeah, bro. And you can't allow that. But when you're playing against an all-time talent in Pat Mahomes, can you stop it?
Can you tote?
Pat Mahomes can tote.
Yeah.
Can you stop it? No, you can only hope to contain it.
Yeah. And they couldn't.
They could not contain it. About the Niners defense.
Yeah.
And this kind of segues into the scapegoat of this whole situation, you may say. Steve Wilkes getting fired.
Yep.
The day after. I guess the one moment that was telling about it was the third down. I think it was in overtime where they had already ran a cover 0 look. They had kind of like 5 guys playing like a shell look. Kyle Shanahan called timeout and said, "You're not fucking doing that. We already got beat. You're not doing that again." Made him call something different. They still ended up losing the game. What do you think about that? Because I honestly think it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's a cheap thing to do. Y'all had like a top 5 defense all year.
Yeah.
And Steve Wilkes had them boys playing well, especially in that game in the first half. They were flying around and setting the tone.
Dude, Fred Warner was incredible.
Before Dre Greenlaw went out, bro, he could have been Super Bowl MVP. The way he was setting the tone and he was just so I don't even know, bro. He just had so much energy. He was on B-Dog timing.
Yeah, and there was a play that I remember vividly. I believe it was it might have been like a 3rd and 3, and they threw a screen route to Travis Kelce on almost to the sideline. And Fred Warner was watching it from the middle of the field, and he got over and made the tackle before Kelce got the first down and went to 4th and 1. They punted. There's not a single other linebacker in the league that can make that play. But when it comes to Steve Wilkes, I really think what it comes down to, when you think of the overall aesthetic of the game, you really can't blame anybody. You know what I mean? There wasn't a whole lot of mistakes. I mean, McCaffrey had a fumble, but he also had 160 yards total this game. Brandon Ayuk kind of disappeared, but I mean, they spread the ball around quite a bit.
Yeah, but at the same time, they just weren't getting it to him.
They weren't. And I think the only person that was available for blame was Kyle Shanahan. And you can't fire him because they've been incredible for the last 5 to 6 years. They've been a really good football team. Kyle Shanahan's been a great coach. But
yeah.
So it had to be somebody, and I think the move was more of we need to change something and try something fresh. And
But he was already fresh, though. Like, y'all lost D'Amico Ryans last year. And then, I don't know if it was the year before that, or it might have been, the year before that. You lost Robert Saleh because he went to coach the Jets. So this is already a fresh idea. Now y'all need new, fresh ideas. I get the NFL is like, it's an ever-changing game, and if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Yeah.
But, bro, they have been one of the best units in the league all season long.
They have.
And we have not said a word about Steve Wilks and questions about his job security. Mm-hmm. Now, all of a sudden, he's out because you choked the game away.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying Kyle Shanahan should be fired, but I do think, he should be on somewhat of a hot seat.
Yeah.
Just because, like, you've gotten to this point so many times and, you get the girl's number, you can't seal the deal.
Yeah. You ask her out on a date and she say no.
She says yes, and then it becomes the night of the date, and she says we have to reschedule. Y'all never reschedule.
Yeah. Or, like, you ask her out on a date, and she goes, all right, what do you want to do? And you plan it all out for her. You lay it down, and she's like, okay, let's do it. We'll find a day. You're like, okay, we'll find a day. And a week goes by, and you're like, hey, what are we doing? And now you're desperate.
Mm-hmm.
And she say, hey, it's too bad. I'm sorry. Like, it's kind of gross how they do, like, coordinators and stuff in the league, but somebody had to be blamed for this game being up 10. And let's be real, the Kansas City did score on all 4 of their final drives to win the Super Bowl. I don't know. All units on the Niners just seem stale. Like, no one really played bad, but there wasn't a pop, like, at all.
Yeah, but my issue is, like, is it more on that aspect for the Niners, or is it more just that the Chiefs are that good? Because we've seen, like, we've heard all year how the Niners have been unstoppable. They're the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Their defense is ridiculous. Their offense is historically good.
Yeah.
And you get to play the Super Bowl against the newest dynasty in the league, against some really good young players and some very experienced coordinators and coaches.
Yeah.
And you look like that. I feel like the blame is wrongly shifted to Steve Wilks. It's not just him, because, the defense gave up scoring drives the last 4 times, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown, and you can't have that if you're trying to win a Super Bowl. I get it. But they were the reason why they were up double digits to begin with. Mm-hmm. That defense set the tone. So I don't know. I feel like I just feel like they overreacted way too early, way too much. You don't fire a guy like Steve Wilks, who this is his defense. This is his top 5 defense. Just out of disgust for what happened. Like, if you're gonna do it, at least, like, wait a little bit. Let the sting wear off a little bit.
I think what we're going to see a lot around the league are teams. Do you remember when Golden State first started their dynasty run in the NBA, and Houston just kept trying to get that piece that would get it done and get them past them? First thing they did was they brought in all the shooting in the world, because they thought, if we can outshoot the Warriors, we can beat them. And the truth is, you can't outshoot the greatest shooters of all time. So they started with that, and then it was, okay, let's go from Dwight Howard. Let's go get Chris Paul, and then it's like, oh, we can't do Chris Paul. Let's go get Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try something, and you just can't beat them. You can't beat greatness if you're trying to create something to defeat greatness. You'll never be able to become great in your own right. And I feel like a lot of teams are doing that in the league, in the NFL, trying to beat the Chiefs, is they're trying to constantly shift something and focusing on beating a certain team instead of focusing on in-house. And I feel like that's what the Niners are starting to do. They're like, well, I mean, last year may have been our chance, but we lost our quarterback. So we brought in a new DC, and the defense just wasn't as good as it was the year before that. So now we got to fire the defensive coordinator. Like, I don't know.
Not even that they weren't as good as the year before.
Yeah.
They were.
I don't think they were. I don't think they were.
But they were still great.
They were. And the loss of Talanoa Hufanga was bad. That's tough. I don't think he's letting up that deep shot to McCole Hardman if he was there. But
yeah, who knows, bro? But I just feel like it's an overreaction.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Just the downfall.
Yep.
Is upon us. Listen, for the shit that they've been talking for the last year, it could not have happened to a greater fan base. Honestly, the whining and complaining about the NFC Championship game for over a year, they are still talking about it. It is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Even Nick Bosa in media day he had Philadelphia in his mouth. Bro, what are you doing? Worry about the Chiefs, bro. They're gonna fall off quite a bit, in my opinion. I mean, we saw how we were this year coming off of the Super Bowl loss. It's tough. No coach or team in history has lost a Super Bowl and gone back the next year. It just and won. I mean, they've gone back, but they have it doesn't happen. That does not happen. So I feel like, for us, we kind of expected something very out of reality for us. The Niners are going to go through the same thing next year. It's not going to be great. And not to mention, they are starting to enter salary cap purgatory.
Yeah.
I saw this interesting stat on Twitter. I forget who. Oh, it was Bill Calarulo. Shout out. Philly Sports Power Hour on Jacob Sports Media. I was watching one of his lives, and he was talking about the Super Bowl and, what it means moving forward, like salary cap wise, because it's talking about the Eagles and the whole Hassan Reddick saga. The average available cap space in the offseason this year around the league, $17 million. As of now, the Eagles have $21 million in available cap space. That'll probably change. We have a lot of people that are probably going to get restructured or cut. And we're going to save a lot of money. We're probably going to get to 40, if I had to guess. So that number is going to change for us. The Chiefs are at $24 million. The San Francisco 49ers are at $550,000.
Yep.
$550,000, bro.
With Brock Purdy needing money.
Yeah. And like to compare apples to apples, our highest salary on the books as far as like a cap hit is Lane Johnson at $16 million. If you look at his cap hit in comparison to the Niners cap hit, probably like the 8th or 9th highest cap hit if he was on the 49ers. Like you can stat that if you want, but they have like 5 or 6 guys that are, or 4 or 5 that are over 20 million.
Yeah.
And that's not sustainable, bro, especially when you have Brock Purdy up. Now Brandon Ayuk is up for a contract.
Yeah.
Some of these guys on defense, these young guys are going to start being up for contracts. It's going to be interesting to see how John Lynch moves that money around because they got nothing.
No, they don't.
And you look at, like, granted, we had issues, but like we have salary cap flexibility, whether you believe it or not. 21 million as of now, and we can save probably 21 million. The Chiefs have 24 million. They can probably restructure some guys and have more. And they just won the Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like the downfall for the Niners is gonna be tough. Not that they're gonna be a crappy team, like they're gonna be under 500 or something.
No.
But this last year and this year, I feel like were their best shots at the Vince Lombardi, and they just fell short. And they're gonna start paying the price, bro. We saw it with the Rams, and they won the Super Bowl. They've kind of gone on a mini retool. Although they were at towards the end of that kind of cycle of spending too much capital, but I don't know, bro. The Niners, it's looking bleak, bro. It's looking bleak.
It is. It is. I will say though, like not to play devil's advocate here, pretty much all the top end talent for the Niners is locked up.
Yeah.
And I say that because you look at a team like the Chiefs, yeah, they have 24 million in cap space. Christian McCaffrey, Chris Jones is a free agent. L'Jarius Sneed is going to be extended. He's become a top 5 cornerback in football. L'Jarius Sneed's going to need a bag. So
Trent
they're
McDuffie
going to
at some point.
Trent McDuffie. They're going to run out of money fast, and the Eagles have a lot of old guys on that roster that might need some money back. Because let's be real, Fletcher Cox isn't going to play next year on a $4 million deal.
Yeah,
he's going to want 12 and a half. He's going to want a 1 year 12 and a half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know that we're at the crossroads, but we have flexibility to move this stuff around. Because and who knows? Those guys might take cheap team friendly discounts. They might even retire, so they might not even be on the team. The only one I feel confident in being back is Brandon Graham, because he said it. I have no idea where Fletcher Cox stands, and Jason Kelsey, as the day goes by, he flip-flops like a fish.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but we have a bunch of guys that we could extend or cut, like Hassan Reddick. If we extend him, we can save like 14 or 15 million. Kevin Byard, we can save 14 million there, whether we cut him or restructure his deal. There's places we can extend guys and restructure guys to kind of make that work, and then go and get some talent.
Yeah.
But and the Chiefs can kind of play that game too. It's just gonna be tough with all those great young guys. But yeah, bro, I don't know. I can't see the Niners kind of doing the same thing, because they don't have the cap space, bro.
No, they don't. And I think the biggest difference between like the Chiefs and a lot of other teams, like they just have cornerstones at some of the most important positions. The Niners have a shit ton of top end talent, but to me, Christian McCaffrey isn't a cornerstone because he's a running back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For their team, he is, though. He is the best player on that team.
He is, but like their left tackle's super old. They don't really have anything at corner, which I think is a cornerstone position.
And other than Trent Williams, their offensive line is mid.
Yeah, and we're still unsure about Purdy. I'm more confident in Purdy now as seeing this playoff run than I was going into it. Because let's be real, he played. If we had to grade his overall playoffs, I'd say it was an A-. It was pretty damn good.
I'd give it a B plus.
Yeah, which is good.
Not B minus, B plus, somewhere in there.
Which is damn good. So
I say he's a guy.
Yeah, he's a guy.
I still don't like. He's not.
Yeah. No,
but he's not like down here.
To me, he's if he's not sniffing the top 10, he's sitting comfortably at 10 or 9.
I would say he's in that 11 to 15 range for me.
Okay.
He's not top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But he's definitely 11 to 15.
Yeah. But like back to the Chiefs side of it, they have 2 absolutely elite corners. They have when Jason Kelsey retires, they have the best center in football. They have obviously the best quarterback, arguably, to ever live. They have the best tight end to ever live. They've got, if they keep Chris Jones, they have a cornerstone there on the defensive line. George Karlaftis, before he got like nicked up, was great in the Super Bowl. Like they've just got cornerstone pieces that matter and that can really change a game. And that leads me into a question like in the Super Bowl, either side, what was a player that like surprisingly stood out to you where like you were like, holy shit, they could single-handedly win their team the Super Bowl? Who was that player for you on either side?
That it was like a surprise, or
maybe not a surprise, but you were just absolutely blown away by that. You were like, wow, I did not really expect that. I know my guy.
Your guy's probably McCole Hardman.
No, it's not. No, he wasn't. He made a clutch play, but he wasn't impacting the game.
I mean, it was short-lived, but I would say Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah.
He was just flying around. He set the tone of that Niners defense, and
I'd say so.
While he was in there before the catastrophic injury, he was the reason why they were going to win that game. He really was. He was the heartbeat of that defense, and everybody was going as he was. He was flying around, whole lot of swagger, whole lot of confidence, a lot of moxie, and you saw the rest of the defense kind of take suit as he's just like doing his best Brian Dawkins impression. I didn't really expect that out of him. I mean, I know that he's a great linebacker in this league, but I kind of look at him as like the number 2 next to Fred. You look at Fred Warner as the guy on that defense, like in the linebacker room. Dre Greenlaw emerged as like 1B.
Yeah.
Covering everything, run support, like he was good.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say him, even though it was very short-lived.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect him to come out like that. I really did not.
To me, the player in this game that like blew my mind, that I thought was just absolutely sensational every single play, Trent McDuffie, was ridiculous. Every other play, it's a PBU. It's great coverage. It's getting the receiver to fall without putting your hands on him. Like he was just absolutely everything for that team on Sunday. Just play after play. I mean, he had breakups in the end zone. Yep. He had one of the stops to keep him from continuing that overtime drive. Like he was just so damn good all night. I mean, you look at the stats for the receivers. Brandon Ayuk, 3 for 49. Debo, 3 of 33. George Kittle had 2 catches for 4 yards.
You remember when he said, "I'm going to come back here with the vengeance"?
You will not. You will not get the better of me. You will not get the better of me.
2 catches for 4 yards. That's quite a vengeance, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think Trent McDuffie was absolutely the star of the game. If Patrick Mahomes didn't put together an absolute masterclass final 25 minutes of the game, Trent McDuffie could have won Super Bowl MVP for me.
Yeah, he was very good.
Yeah.
Definitely, like everywhere you look, he was making a play. And I remember one that was almost a touchdown.
Yep.
And it was a great defensive play by him. Very clean PBU. And I remember, and you know my family, they were rooting for the Niners. And anytime he made a play, they're like, "Where's the flag? Where's the flag?" And it's just like, it's not a flag, bro. He is just that good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say him, but you know me, I try to go at the box.
At the box. Yeah.
Try to go at the box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Trent McDuffie was just absolutely sensational in this game.
He was great, and L'Jarius Sneed was great too. I mean, he had his moment there where he got the personal foul, but then the next play, they went right to him, breaks up the pass 2 straight times.
Yeah.
So I mean that whole defense played great. They played great football, especially down the stretch when they needed to in that fourth quarter. Shout out to Spags for, having those guys playing the way that they were.
Yep.
It's a dynasty. And I am happy that the Niners did not slay the dragon and they left the head on that bitch for us because we killed dynasties, bro.
Yeah.
They don't. We do.
Who do you
Think about this.
What?
After we beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, what happened? They won one more, and then the evil empire collapsed.
Yeah.
We killed dynasties, bro.
Bro, stop.
It was just once. But I'm going to sit up here and say we killed dynasties.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it happen.
Is there anything else like really in this game that stood out to you that you feel like you need to point out? Because I kind of want to project a little bit before we like recap some of the things we enjoyed about the season.
About this game in particular, I mean, not really that they have bearing on the game. Is more like the announcing crew. I feel like Tony Romo ruined that game-winning touchdown moment, like the Jim Nantz call, a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of how he is, like how he like calls games and stuff. But like the Jim Nantz call was an all-timer. Yeah. And then you just hear Tony Romo afterwards like, "Yep, that's what Patrick Mahomes does." Like, come on, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, bro. Tony Romo showed everybody why they hate when him and Jim Nantz are on the call,
especially for the Chiefs games.
But Tony Romo just, oh man, bro. I feel like the luster's wearing off because now you got Tom Brady coming next year. Greg Olsen was great with Burkhardt, and Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are always a timeless duo.
Yeah, I do think Tony Romo's great, but he needs to not do Chiefs games because it's just an absolute throater.
Yeah, bro gets too Mahomey.
Yeah, he gets
every time, bro.
Yeah, he just needs to pump the brakes a little bit, but
yeah, and shout out to the Kelsey suite, Jason, Taylor Swift, and for some reason, Ice Spice.
Yeah. Yo, do you see some of the memes?
Yeah, bro.
Oh my God.
Are you pumpkin spice?
You're pumpkin spice.
So am I the fart?
Am I the shit or am I the fart?
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh man. Yeah, that was definitely a moment. I definitely wish I was a fly on that wall to listen to Jason Kelsey and Ice Spice have a conversation. Cause what is bro gonna talk about with her?
Facts, dude.
What is bro gonna talk about with her?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
That's really it for me. But
yeah, dude. I mean, shout out to Kansas City. It was an incredible season. They fought through a hell of a lot of adversity this year, but they're the most proven team in the league. I mean, there's only 3 quarterbacks in the NFL right now with multiple Super Bowls, and that's Patrick Mahomes and his 2 former backups.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just it's just insane. So, I do want to look ahead a little bit to next season. KC should certifiably be the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and Vegas should really understand that by now, I hope. But who is the favorite in the NFC right now?
Well,
I would say it's
funny that you say.
Yeah,
it's funny that you say that the Chiefs should be the favorites going in, and Vegas should realize that because their odds-on favorite right now are the San Francisco 49ers.
I know.
It makes no fucking sense.
It doesn't.
Absolutely no sense because they might not win their division next year.
Maybe they're also. We also have to realize like they're baking in that the NFC is going to be wide open and the AFC is going to get better.
Yeah,
they're not so much thinking like the odds of winning the Super Bowl. They also have to bake in the odds of getting there.
Right. But I still feel like it's going to be harder for the Niners than like a team like the Eagles or the Lions or
Maybe.
even the Cowboys.
Yeah. Me right now, I think the favorite in the NFC should be the Lions. That's just where I sit. Eagles have too many questions right now. The Niners they're bringing in a new defensive system. They have cap issues. Detroit is young. They're only going to get better. They got experience this year on a deep playoff run. Jared Goff has proven he can get there.
Yep. He's been to a Super Bowl before as well. So
yeah, to me, it should be Detroit right now.
Right now, I guess you could say that. I feel like, and I mean, it's way too early to say this, and I'm definitely biased in saying this, but granted how the off season is going to go, I feel like it's going to be a good off season for us. I feel like when we go into the season next year, out of the NFC, I feel like we're going to be one of, if not the favorite in the NFC.
You've got to win your division, though.
Bro, we're going to you know the 20+ year track record of the NFC East. We're winning the division next year. And then Dallas is going to win it the year after that, or even Washington. Who knows? I mean, like, we might have a little minor retool, but I just feel like what we brought in on the coaching staff was so huge. Like, we brought in Vic Fangio. Yes, his schemes can be had. And you saw with Miami how they were a top 10 defense, and he really was just rocking with the coordinators that they had. But we went out and got Vic guys. We got Vic Fangio guys to be like assistant and positional coaches. So I feel like that's going to be huge for the defense who, they're going to have some question marks, but I feel like we're going to answer a lot of those question marks in the off season. We still might have some going in the training camp. And then Kellen Moore on the offense. We just got to know what's happened with Jason Kelce. I mean, I feel like Cam Jurgens, he might not be Jason Kelce, but I feel like he'll be good to great. Not Jason Kelce, though. I feel like he'll be a good replacement. And we have opportunity. We're one of the most proven teams in the NFC. I mean, it's us, San Francisco, and Detroit. And if you want to include Dallas, include them in there as well. So, I mean, we have an opportunity. I feel like with how the offseason is probably going to go, because I have a feeling that we're going to go for it again.
Yep.
I feel like we're probably going to be up there for like favorite in the NFC, and even the talking heads on in the media too. You think about our appeal and our stay as a contender. Like we gonna be there. We gonna be there. I will say though, I feel like a surprise team, like dark horse next year, is gonna be the Rams. I feel like they're going to be a dark horse.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro, that team came to my mind. I just didn't want to sound like a dumbass, but they are going to be
I'm not
so
saying they're going to
good.
be I'm not saying that they're going to be a favorite, but like they could win the NFC West next year and be like a 3-4 seed.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
They're not going to be the top team in the NFC. Granted, we have to see what this offseason brings, but they are definitely going to be back.
Yeah.
They're gonna
They've got cap space.
They got a lot of cap space.
They've got the cornerstone talent. I think they need to put all their chips into the defensive side of the ball this offseason. And if they can do that, I don't see them going anywhere. And I think they're only going to get better.
Yeah, because Akila Witherspoon is not getting it done, bro.
Fringe all pro.
No,
Akila
bro.
Witherspoon.
No shot, bro. Bro is mid. Not on a Super Bowl team, bro. No. I don't. The bro reminds me of the late Byron Maxwell. No shot.
You're nuts, dude.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Granted, I'm sad that the season's over, but as the fan team who didn't get to where they should have gone, I am excited for this offseason for us to put in the work, bring in the guys, to get back to where we should be. And you should be excited too, bro. Y'all getting Aaron Rodgers back? Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, the legacy jerseys are now becoming the primaries, dude. Oh my God. Next season's going to be an absolute #1 box office seller, dude. I swear to God.
Facts. It's,
Yeah.
hey, can September come soon enough, bro?
Yeah.
It's February.
I have September. Yeah, September is 7 months away. I have 7 months to turn my girlfriend into a Jets fan.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, I got 7 months to torture her mind just a little bit.
What's she right now?
Come
She
to
an
the
Eagles
dark
fan?
side. Yeah.
She's an Eagles fan. Listen, I'm gonna talk to your girl on this one.
I go ahead.
Listen, Emma, don't listen to a word that this man says. I understand. Listen, I understand the temptation, and he's going to lay it on you. Pause.
No pause.
No pause. He is going to lay the propaganda on you so hard. One thing that us as Eagles fans do, we don't buckle to the propaganda. We stick. If we're real, and I hope that you are a real Eagles fan, we got to stick together, bro. We can have a secondary team that we like to see win, but when it comes to your team, it's the Eagles. It's all we've known. You know what I'm saying? It's all we've known. There's no, especially in this economy where we are contenders.
Bro's bringing in the economy.
I'm just saying, in the current NFL economy where we are contenders year in and year out, bro, it makes no sense to jump ship. These are the peak years. I understand when we had Chip Kelly and Sam Bradford was our quarterback with a washed DeMarco Murray and Bradley Fletcher as our cornerback #1. I understood hopping off the bandwagon then. But why hop off now? Why hop off now? I'm not saying don't root for the Jets as like a secondary team. You can do that. That's cool. I like to see other teams win when the Eagles are not playing. But when the Eagles are playing and someone asks you, what are you a fan of? What is your team? The answer better always be the Midnight Green.
Listen, I am going to be ruthless for the next 7 months.
And listen, don't cave in and be like, I'm sick of hearing it. Fine. Stand on business. Stand on business. Listen, this man has tried to move me. He's tried to move mountains. And guess what? I've stood on business. Doesn't happen.
Let me tell you
something,
if I
can do it, you can do it too.
Some mountains are bigger than others. I can move the little ones. All right? I'm just saying.
I'm like Mount Everest, bro. You ain't moving me.
Yeah, dude. But no, I'm definitely going to convert her to a Jets fan by September. But
if she's a secondary, that's fine. But listen,
nah. We go all in.
Emma, I'm speaking to you, and I'm only speaking to you when I say this. You know which side to pick. You are on the side. Don't switch it up now.
Come on, bro. I don't want to be.
Don't switch it up. Listen. Hear me out. Don't switch it up for a 2-year rental, bro. Don't switch it up for a rental, bro. We got the mortgage payment.
Well, all I'm saying is rent was due on wild card weekend, bro. And y'all got evicted so fast. Y'all landlord didn't give y'all nothing. I don't get paid till next week. Do you mind? He said, nah. See you later. New tenant brought in.
Yeah, bro. It was a rough 2 months, bro. Listen. We stopped making money on Feet Finder, bro. We could not make the mortgage payments.
Yeah, it just happens. But
Yeah, bro.
we're still gonna try. We're gonna
Yep.
give it our best shot. I'm gonna probably put a PowerPoint together and do all I gotta do. You know what I mean? Compare the jerseys because these legacy jerseys have a chance to be the best fucking jerseys in football.
Hey, I don't know, bro. If she's seen the Kelly Green jerseys,
Yeah, but those are a
yes.
once in a blue moon. You feel me?
That's true. Like they ain't our primaries. I kind of wish they were, but
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But
Make sure she sees that though.
oh, I will.
All right.
I will.
And she better
But,
she better not switch up, bro. She ain't gonna hear the end of it.
Listen, so it was an incredible NFL season. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. You could call this season Josh Allen. But what was one of your favorite storylines to follow all year? Outside of the Eagles, like something that it was like, I can't wait to see what happens with this week, or like Linsanity runs or things like that. What were some things this year that had you hype as fuck to be a football fan?
If it's not Eagles related, I would say some of my favorite non-Eagles moments from the year.
Yeah.
The emergence of the rookie head coaches and the rookie quarterbacks, particularly Houston, like
Yeah.
CJ Stroud putting together a historic rookie season, and DeMeco Ryans putting together a historic rookie season as a head coach, pretty much flipping the tide of that organization. Because I went into the season thinking they were going to be shit again, honestly. And I was wrong. They're going to be another dark horse team next year. I was wrong. And they were one team that it was kind of like, let's see what they do again this week. Like they keep it rolling. Can they keep it rolling? They kept it rolling. Let's see them do it again the next week. What is CJ Stroud going to do this week?
Yep.
That was a fun little storyline to watch. I also thought the Josh Dobbs propaganda was funny. Bro, it didn't matter if he was in Arizona or Minnesota or anywhere in between. Bro won football games.
Yeah.
They might have been not as meaningful as others, but bro won football games and then got benched for Nick Mullins.
Yeah.
Like the ascension into stardom and the fall off were both just as crazy as the other. That was fun. And I also felt bad because this is like I also felt bad for you all season because one of the biggest what ifs that kind of percolated through the league and all like social media and all talks was, what if Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt week 1?
Yeah.
How different would the Jets season be? How different would the AFC look? That's going to be interesting going into this year. I do believe that this whole picture would have looked a little bit different. Maybe the Chiefs still win the Super Bowl and they still go to the Super Bowl, but all the in-between fluff would have been a lot different with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. And who knows? What the hell? He could have given Patrick Mahomes a run for his money in the AFC Championship. We'll never know.
No.
But that's definitely one interesting storyline that we're going to carry into this season because this is basically what would have last year looked like.
Yeah. And I think the ramp up to this year is going to be even bigger than last year because we lost it and the moves we're going to make because we have cap space and things that we can do. We're eyeing like every star wide receiver that is out there.
Yeah, as you should.
As we should. I mean, we've got I think with Aaron Rodgers at the helm with Breece Hall, we've got enough tools. I mean, Tyler Conklin had a career year this year. Garrett Wilson, another 1,000-yard season. I think Alan Lazard's not going to be as bad. But we need
but
another.
I think next to Garrett Wilson,
we need
and it's kind of going this way. If you're not the Kansas City Chiefs, you need 2 number 1-ish receivers.
Yeah.
If y'all can get Devontae Adams, which I don't know if it sounds like that's gonna happen anymore with his endorsement of AP. If y'all can get a guy like T. Higgins, that would be huge.
Yeah. T. Higgins, Hollywood Brown, Adam Thielen. There's some guys out there that we could go get as either a rival 1 or a very damn good 2.
Yeah. And really, when I looked at the Jets going into this season, that was one of the only weaknesses that I saw on the offensive side. Obviously, it was the offensive line. That was the biggest question mark for me. Didn't pan out well. But that wide receiver 2 spot was also another question mark. We didn't really get to see a whole lot because Aaron Rodgers went out, and you're really going to use Zach Wilson as a litmus test. It's not really going to work that great. But it's definitely going to be something to watch going into this season. But definitely, I feel like it's probably one of the biggest what ifs in NFL history.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Not even of recent history, but just history in general.
Yeah.
This is the biggest what if. One of them.
and we still won 7 games this year with Zach Wilson as our quarterback. So we're clearly a good overall team. When Aaron Rodgers can come back as 60% of him, and I think we'll make a playoff run.
Yeah. If you had a healthy Aaron Rodgers all the way throughout the year, I think y'all would have won 12 or 13 games the way your defense was carrying.
Yeah, all it took.
A guy like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm doing the math right now. All it would have took is if we won 3 more games and 2 of those were in a conference, we would have made the playoffs as a 7 seed.
Yeah, I think y'all probably would have won 11 or 12 with Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bro, that's gonna be something to look at next year, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite moments of the year was obviously the Joe Flacco insanity run. That shit was insane. Over 1,600 yards in 5 games in the regular season. That was insane. The Jake Browning 2-week insanity run was cool. There was a lot of quarterbacks that were either forgotten about or have been sitting behind somebody for so long that just came in and did what they had to do this year. But by far, my favorite thing to watch this year was Baker revive his career.
Yeah,
it was.
I mean, at my expense, but that was also fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean the Bucks were in every game all year. Baker solidified himself as a top 10 quarterback, probably. If not, right on the outside. To me, he's right next to Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, and those guys.
Yeah.
He's been great all year, and I think he's going to get his bag, but he's not going to be too expensive, so they're going to continue to build on that roster they have. Even though they don't need to do a whole lot, I do think they need to get better in the running game and the offensive line a bit. But, yeah, that was so much fun to watch, the Bucks run. And then my biggest what if of the season was obviously the Jets, but outside of that, definitely New Orleans. We had New Orleans rivaling for the 1 seed, winning 11 or 12 games this year, and they just never really got any momentum going. Guys in and out of the lineup. Derek Carr got hurt for a couple of weeks. I had more faith in Derek Carr because you look at what he didn't accomplish a whole lot with the Raiders, but you look at the defenses that he had. He never had a defense better than 27th and ranked in the league.
Yeah.
And he made the playoffs multiple times. So I had more faith in them, but they were definitely disappointing. Yeah, dude, it was an all-around just great year, and I'm so excited for next year because some of these teams are only going to get better. It almost feels like at the end of the year, we have so many questions answered. 75% of the questions we had going into the year are answered. And somehow throughout the offseason, just more and more questions pop up. And it makes you so excited for the next year.
Yeah. No, I I agree, bro.
But yeah, but hey, listen, shout out to an incredible 2023-2024 NFL season where the Chiefs inevitably went back to back. First time in 20 years.
Yeah, bro. It's a dynasty. And they'll be remembered in history forever, as all the other ones have.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy, bro? We are now living through our second NFL dynasty, bro.
Yeah.
We lived through the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got the Chiefs. What's next? I hope it's the Eagles, bro. I hope it's. I would, bro. If we ever became a dynasty, like knock on wood,
Yeah.
I would be in heaven, bro.
That's got to be a great feeling for like people that are like in their 30s, 40s now that have been fans of Kansas City since like the 90s or in like early 2000s to feel how they're feeling now. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, they've had success. They just haven't gotten to like Super Bowls, and they haven't won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Other than Len Dawson, Super Bowl 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. Like, I know how great it was to win the 1. I cannot imagine like winning 3 in the span of 5 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So shout out to the Kansas City fans that, like you said, are in their 30s and 40s and they saw it through.
I'm telling you right now, and mark my words, okay? If Patrick Mahomes wins next year's MVP and 3-peats, he's the GOAT. Undeniably to me.
There might be a conversation, but again, we had this conversation with Smitty and DV. I still feel like GOAT is a little out there. 2 and 3, like on the Mount Rushmore list, I could totally see that. For me right now, he is probably number 4.
Yeah.
But I don't know, bro. I've watched Tom Brady.
I know.
I'm kind of biased. But yeah, bro, if he's definitely on pace to surpass him. And if he does, then he does. If he doesn't, then he doesn't.
I just don't think he needs 7. Like, I think 5. If it's 5 and he plays 15 years and matches most of the stats, I think it's good enough because the eye test was never there for Brady. He never threw the prettiest ball. He didn't have the biggest arm. He wasn't mobile. He just didn't have a skill set. He just won at the end of the day, which is important, clearly. But
he had a skill set. No, you don't have to say.
Is he a top 15 most talented quarterback ever? I don't think so.
It's the same. It's the same thing with Kobe. You look at Kobe. Was he at least coming out?
Yeah.
Was he the most talented basketball player? Did he have all of the God-given characteristics and skills? No.
No, but if Kobe won 7 rings, he'd be considered the GOAT.
But he didn't.
Yeah, which is why he's not. What I'm saying is like,
but he's not the GOAT. Yeah. But he's in that conversation.
I don't think he is. I mean, let's be honest. Like, Shaq needed Kobe, but Shaq was by far the best player. Shaq had probably the greatest 3-year stretch of playoff basketball of all time.
That's true.
Like, let's be real. Dude averaged like 36 and 16 for 3 playoffs straight.
Bro was ridiculous.
Bro was a problem. But no, I just mean like if he wins it next year, he'll have 3 MVPs. He'll have 4 rings. He'll do the first ever 3-peat in NFL history. That would be 7 out of 7 AFC Championship games. Like, what? At some point, like,
he'll get it at some point. I still think next year would be too soon.
I think Brady, when Patrick Mahomes is done, Brady is going to be seen as the Bill Russell of the NFL. You're not the GOAT. You're not the GOAT. But you won the most.
Probably. That could be. Yeah. And hey, who knows? They might not get the 3-peat. We look at the Patriots dynasty. After that, 3 out of 4. It took Tom Brady like 10 years to win another Super Bowl. Granted,
Yeah.
they were a little bit different than the Chiefs were. That
The
defense was
Chiefs
a
are
lot older.
young.
Yeah, I
The
know the
Chiefs are
Chiefs are young
young.
as hell. That Patriots defense was a lot older than that Chiefs defense. So hey, that's what makes this crazy.
Yeah. The
But
absolute no doubt that they'll be in the AFC Championship game, I think, ends when Kelsey goes.
yeah,
Like, can they still do it? Yeah, I'm not going to count them out because it's Patrick Mahomes, but like,
but they're just not as much of a shoe in.
yeah, they'll still have a number one guy in Rashee Rice. The defense is going to be great, even when Chris Jones inevitably goes. Like, they have so much talent. I think, yeah, that's just how I feel. But yeah, again, hell of a season. Just honestly, thank you, NFL, because like this year's been a movie. You know what I mean? Something to look forward to every Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. It's been incredible. But yeah, dude, what an absolute banger of a year.
Yeah, bro.
Listen, but before we get out of here, this weekend is the NBA All-Star Weekend. So I want to discuss it real quick. So this year they reverted back to the East versus West in the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
The West is going to absolutely dog the East, right?
Yeah.
No Embiid.
No Embiid
in the East. It's Giannis and a bunch of young pups, and like I don't know. I mean,
Jimmy Butler,
Luka and Shea versus Dame, who isn't the same player as last year, and Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, bro. But Tyrese in Indy.
Dude, Tyrese, when Steph retires, he might be my favorite player. He might just be.
I mean,
Tyrese
he's gonna have the home crowds. He might have the home juju.
Bro's playing 48 minutes.
Yeah, probably. He might try to go for that All-Star game MVP.
He might.
It's gonna be an absolute movie. I mean, they had to do something. I loved the old like not the old format, but what they used like from 2020 up until now. I thought it was good. You just have to find something that's going to keep the players engaged because we see them in these games all the time. Like,
yeah,
it's fine not to be playing like 100% because it's an all-star game. Y'all can play 75%. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the league has to figure out a way to make it worth these guys like playing, or else they're just going to be playing no defense, jogging up and down the court, shooting from 35 feet every single time down, or just rolling out the red carpet for a guy to do a windmill 360.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the All-Star game. And, I feel like the NBA's kind of like policed these guys a lot harder in terms of like, they got to meet a minimum game requirement. I have no idea. I feel like I've heard that there's something that they like some kind of threshold they have to meet for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true though, but I mean that's been the issue with the All-Star game. I mean, we've seen it with the Pro Bowl too.
Yeah. I do. Tyrese Halliburton was on the Pat McAfee show earlier today. He was live in studio. He was talking about how there's an absolute huge emphasis from the NBA that this year has to be a competitive game. I don't expect it to be in the first and second quarter. Like, I think they'll do something that they've done. Like both teams will get their charity money, like their $100K in the first 2 quarters. And then I think in the third and fourth quarter, it's going to be kind of nuts.
Then they'll start playing ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of how the All-Star game in 2020 went when they first did the Kobe.
That whole game was a movie.
That was a movie.
And then the fourth quarter was a fucking playoff game.
Bro, listen, I'm biased. We might be a little bit biased because we haven't seen 2001. We haven't seen 2003. We haven't seen, what was it? 86,
Yeah.
92, 93. We haven't seen those All-Star games, which were great All-Star games. That 2020 All-Star game, I feel like was the best in history.
It had to be.
Fourth quarter alone, bro.
It had to be. That combined with
you had the best players in the world playing at 100% because they wanted the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP trophy.
Yeah, and yelling at refs and Kyle Lowry taking charges.
Kyle Lowry taking a charge in the All-Star game, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get that. I mean, that, and I guess that's kind of where that format kind of ran its course because you got the first one, and then it's like,
I do think we could see it in the fourth quarter this year.
Yeah. I mean, that you really want to see that. That's kind of the whole purpose for an all-star game.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know what the solution is to make it like every single year you have guys going at like 95, 100% in those moments. How it feels like just playing like all-star team up on 2K.
Yeah.
I don't know what the solution is. Like a lot of these leagues struggle with this.
Yeah.
It's not
the only one that's the same as like regular season is MLB because it's always fire.
Yeah, and even even NASCAR to a certain extent. I mean, you have to qualify for it. I forget whether it's pole winners or race winners at this point. But even there, like, I feel like they have some pretty good races in the All-Star race. Granted, the car has been a question as of these recent years in terms of its raceability.
Yep.
Which is not really something you know too much about. But even there, like they've had some pretty good all-star events.
Mm-hmm.
Say,
yeah,
because the premise is the same. Like you're racing to win.
Yeah.
There's no like going 50% on it.
Yeah.
So I feel like in that principle, it's a good format. With all these, all the other ball and stick sports, it's kind of hard to keep that same intensity, but that's where the leagues have to get creative and make it engaging for the.
Yeah. I mean, they made the in-season tournament super competitive by offering a lot more money. Like, I won't be surprised if the charity money goes to like millions.
Yeah.
Which it should, personally, but they have the money to do it. But if they do that too, the players will be more engaged, which means there'll be a better turnout for the All-Star game, which means more money in the NBA's pocket anyways. So
yeah.
But hey, listen, before we get out of here, I think we should go ahead and we should make our predictions for the 4 skills challenges that are happening.
Do you have the list of them?
I have the list, and I also have the articles pulled up. So let's go ahead and take a look at the skills challenge first. Yeah?
Yep.
All right, the NBA skills challenge. So this year we've got 3 different teams. I don't like how they do it nowadays, but
yeah,
I kind of like these rosters. So we've got young all-stars, the team all-stars made up of Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, Trae Young. We've got a full team of number 1 overall picks, Paolo, Ant-Man, and Victor Wembanyama. And then, of course, we've got team Pacers with Reese, Benedict Mathurin, my boy, and Miles Turner.
Your boy.
Yeah. I think it's not even close. Team top picks is going to take this.
Yeah.
I think they're the only team where everybody on that squad can do all those skills things. Like I think I can see Miles Turner and Scotty Barnes getting stuck at the pass through a little hole,
Yeah.
which usually is what wins or loses the skills challenges. All three of the guys on top picks can pass.
Yeah.
This is the
I
least
agree.
interesting one, but I think top picks
Yeah.
is going to be the
The
winner.
skills challenge usually is the least interesting one. Then you get to
Yeah.
the 3-point contest, which is always a banger.
Always a
And
movie.
the dunk contest, which can be a banger.
This one might be a banger. This one might be a banger.
It could be. I haven't seen the lists, so this is my first time seeing them.
Yeah. So you like Paolo, Ant, and Vic?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, me too.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's Team Pacers though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So with that being said, let's look at the dunk contest. All right. So we've got Jaylen Brown.
ooh.
The first time an all NBA player has been in the slam dunk competition since 2004.
Wow. What
Mhm.
got his ass to do this?
I have no idea. I think bro's just trying to make any bag he can.
Probably.
So we've got Jaylen Brown and last year's winner, Mac McClung. Funny story about Mac McClung. One of my buddies that I graduated, not my buddy. He was more of an acquaintance because we both like basketball. Funny story. He's not going to watch this because we're not really like friends, but
right.
He's on the like training group and staff with Mac McClung and travels with him. I beat him in a 3v3 tournament at school.
You know what? Remember that.
He was 1,000 point high school scorer. And I beat him.
It's pretty good, bro.
Yeah, I beat him.
I wasn't 1,000-point scorer in high school.
Yeah, I beat him. So just to put that out there. But anyways, last year's winner, Mac McClung, Jaylen Brown, Jaime Jaquez.
I love that one.
Yeah, Jaime Jaquez.
Bro, cool. He is such an underrated dunker.
He is.
He's got underrated hops. And shout out to CJ Stroud. Bro dropped 40 on that man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts. And then last but not least, Jacob Toppin. I guess Obi Toppin's younger brother.
I guess so. I've never heard of
me neither.
Toppin.
Me neither.
We'll see. Maybe we get a double East Bay. Because that's
the
Obi Toppin special.
I'd say the overall favorite's Mac McClung.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown can hoop, but like bro's got no left. So like what is he gonna do?
Bro's gonna be coming from the left wing every time.
He's an athlete, but like what is, you know what I mean? I hope Jaylen Brown doing this like and talking about it in a good light sparks other stars to do it in the future.
Yeah, I hope so too, because the dunk contest has really gotten to be like a niche guy. Like it's just dudes out there.
Yeah.
Like Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon doing it was top tier.
That was the last one we even had like good role players do it.
Yeah, Will Barton, Andre Drummond. Like, yeah. I mean, good players, but as of late it's been like like you had 1 year it was Glenn Robinson the second, I believe, that
Hamidou Diallo.
You get Hamidou Diallo. He was a dog though. You gotta be honest. Bro was dunking.
He was a dog, but I mean, like, if a guy like Zach LaVine was doing those same exact dunks, it would be so much bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, these guys came out of nowhere. A rookie Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah, that was fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully Jaylen Brown doing it sparks guys doing it forward. But I think Mac McClung's going to win it. Bro's got hops.
Bro, he is a dog.
Who said white men can't jump?
Not me. I don't know anymore, but I used to be able to do a little bit of that stuff, but not quite anymore. Hey, if you know me from back in the day, I know you do, bro. I had a little bit of bunnies.
Yeah, I had a little bit of bunnies.
Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I could put it only where you could get it, bro. Mm-hmm.
And I can put it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that does open it up for more like stars to do it. Because think about like a dunk contest with like Zion, Ja Morant. Who else?
Ja's got to do it.
He's got to do it, bro.
He's got to do it. I think who's like a super young guy that's like a really good dunker. I'm thinking of, oh my God, it's a young guy. He's a guard. He's a good hooper. Fuck. Wow. I can't remember, but
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards would be a good one. There's just some guys out
Oh,
there that
Jalen
have,
Green. That's who you're thinking of.
yeah, Jalen Green doing it would be really, really good.
Yeah.
Like guys that are like, we need some fringe all-stars in here at least.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a guy to the caliber of Jaylen Brown, who might be a top 20 player in the league, like we need something like that,
Right.
like Jaime Jaquez. And
Hey, bro, he's been hooping.
He's been hooping, but I mean, let's be real. Like, you want to watch Jaime Jaquez, or do you want to watch a guy to like Tyler Hero's level of player do it? Not to say Tyler Hero can dunk, but I mean to that caliber of player.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you think back to I got to go back to it because it's my standard. Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, that dunk contest. Those were some high quality players. Some maybe not quite. I mean, Zach LaVine was probably a fringe all-star at the time. Not quite fringe all-stars, but quality starters and role players.
Yeah.
You had your balance. So yeah, if they can get back to that, it'll be great. But I'm definitely going to be tuning in. Obviously the favorite for me is Mac McClung, but I'm pulling for Jaime Jaquez.
I'm pulling for Jaylen Brown because if Jaylen Brown wins it, it might make other guys want to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
But he's got no left, so we'll see.
Yeah, I just worried, like, because you remember when Victor Oladipo did it, and he was, I think he was the biggest guy in that one. He was not a good showman.
No.
As far as dunking. He was great. He was a great dunker, very athletic, but just when it came to the dunk contest, bro was just not as good as, like, the other niche guys.
Yeah.
What do you think about, like, do you think, like, they should bring in, like, I mean, I guess Mac McClung is kind of one of those like guys that's just a dunker, but like those guys that aren't really in the league but dunk.
No, I don't think they should be. Like it should be NBA players. It's the NBA slam dunk competition, and we're bringing G leaguers up to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I might as well just call Derek Jones Jr. to do it again.
Yeah,
bro's on the catch right now.
Or like, Hamidou Diallo.
Yeah, like someone that's been in the NBA. Mac McClung, I mean, side with the Sixers after that. But bro got no run. Jacob Toppin, who? You feel me? Like, I don't know.
Who? All right, 3-point contest. Let's see this. I'm excited. I always love the 3-point contest.
I do too. It's always fire.
That was my style as a hooper.
Yep.
Back in high school. So I always loved watching this. All right, let's see.
We got all stars and Malik Beasley.
No shot. How many threes does he have right now? Because I need him to make 2 threes. He's got 1. And they're in the fourth quarter over there. Does he have 2? He's got 1.
What's the score? What's the score? Is he going to get run?
I don't know. Okay, so Malik Beasley, Jalen Brunson. I don't know how I feel about that one because he's a good scorer, and scores usually aren't good in this competition. Like Donovan Mitchell. I don't know how I feel about that one. Like I kind of feel the same.
Larry Markkinen can stroke it. Karl Malone. Karl Anthony Towns can stroke it. Trae Young.
Yeah, Trae Young. Honestly, I think Trae Young is probably the favorite.
I'm going with Reese. Reese last year broke the record for a single round and then choked in the second round. But I like Tyrese Halliburton to get it done at home.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, bro's got home court.
I like Trae Young though.
Yeah,
and Dame.
Mm-hmm. This one's gonna be fire because it's all like guys, and then
that's what I'm saying. Like you need the dunk contest to be like this.
Yes. Even a guy to the level of Malik Beasley would be fine in the dunk contest.
Yeah, bro. Look, he's in the 3-point contest. He's probably the least qualified of all these guys. You think like superstar, like go around Jalen Brunson, superstar, Tyrese Halliburton, superstar, King, superstar, Larry Markkinen, superstar, Donovan Mitchell, superstar, Cat, superstar, Trae Young, superstar, Malik Beasley.
Yeah. I mean, Malik Beasley is shooting 44.9% from 3 this year.
He's a guy.
Bro's hooping. So, But yeah, I definitely like Tyrese to take it home. At home, he broke the record last year. Bro's going to be a little bit more locked in. The 3-point contest is being held at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Well, this whole Saturday night's going to be at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, which is weird, but
I think that's all right though.
yeah.
Who's your dark horse?
My dark horse?
Because
Cat.
I think Tyrese and Trae Young are probably going to be the two favorites.
Mine's Cat.
I think
Cat's been on a heater as of late. But I could also see a guy like Jalen Brunson doing it because when Jalen Brunson's hot, he is hot.
Yeah. I think an event like this is tailored to a guy like Malik Beasley, to be honest. Just straight up shooter, or Larry Market.
We don't need Malik Beasley winning this thing.
He's not gonna win it, but I'm just saying bro could go on a Kyle Korver heater.
Yeah. The only way I want Malik Beasley in the final is if Dame's in the final, so it's teammate versus teammate.
That would be fire.
Yeah.
Just like Klay Thompson, Steph Curry final.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm taking Tyrese. You're taking Trae.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. And then the last event, the one I'm most excited for, because it's going to be an absolute motion picture. Sabrina versus Steph. 3-point contest. This shit is going to hit like crack, bro.
This is a thing?
Yes.
What the?
This is happening on Saturday at 8 p.m. Sabrina is shooting from the WNBA three-pointer. Steph is shooting from the NBA three. There's going to be one four-bucket money ball. There's a full money ball rack like usual. You can pick where it goes. Yep. Same things apply except Sabrina's shooting from the three. Whoever wins, I believe, gets $500,000 towards their personal charities.
That's fire.
Yeah. It's about to be a movie.
Yeah. Do you have the stats on Sabrina? Because I don't. I know Steph's having a good year. Do you have the stats on Sabrina? Because my initial inclination is to pick Steph, but I mean, if Sabrina's just hooping, then
I mean, this year she shot 44.8% from three.
Oh my God,
she can tote, bro.
She can tote, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, she can hoop. Man. Yeah, she's an every year all-star in the WNBA. She can hoop.
I know. I know.
It's been some pleasant banter on the internet. They're asking guys as they're walking into games who's going to win. KD went for Steph. Dre said Steph. LeBron said Steph. But guys like Giannis said Sabrina's going to kick Steph's scrawny ass. Like it's been some fun banter all around the league. And this is going to be a lot of fun. This might be the most tuned into thing of the week, to be honest.
Yeah, it definitely could be. There's definitely potential for that. I'm just trying to look up Steph's 3-point percentage right now.
I mean, I don't really feel like we need to, but
42.3.
Yeah, bro's stroking it too.
Pause. I'm a
Steph Curry. Steph Curry.
Steph.
Yeah, it's like betting against LeBron
Patrick
in the game. Patrick Mahomes, LeBron James in a game 7. It's just like when you're doing something that you're the greatest of all time at, I'm just going to blindly assume you're going to win, even if you don't.
Yep. Pretty much.
And you can vote on Twitter for who shoots last. So.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Interesting. Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, bro. That'll be fun.
Yeah. And it makes me happy that the NBA is doing stuff like this because like this, they just had an exchange on Twitter like literally 2 weeks ago. Steph. Someone asked Steph in a press conference who's a better shooter, and Steph was like, "I don't know, but we might have to get in the gym and find out." And Sabrina hit him up on Twitter and said, "Anytime, any place." And then boom, 2 days later, this was announced. Like they jumped on it.
Yes. Yeah. But, as they should, bro. This is the type of stuff that you need to do. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to tune in because I'm gonna have my girl tapped in.
Yeah. For sure.
Tapped in.
I'm still waiting on the 1v1 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't, if we don't get the 1v1 tournament, I'm cool with even a 2v2 tournament. So like pride doesn't get in the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a guy like KD would be pissed as fuck if he lost in a 1v1 tournament. But like if we got a 2-on-2 where it's more fun and you're like with your homie or whatever around the league, like that would be so sick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah. Again, put up prize money. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, oh man, this weekend's gonna be fire. It was an incredible Super Bowl. It was an incredible season. But here we are. It's time to start thinking about the NFL offseason. Time to dive deeper into the NBA, and maybe next week we'll do a little bit of a recap up to this point in the NBA season. We'll talk about the All-Star game and some things that happened. We'll look ahead to the final push for the playoffs after the All-Star break, and that's where we'll sit.
Yeah.
So, you got any last things you need to talk about?
Not really. I'm just gonna give your girl a friendly reminder. Don't switch up.
Yeah, facts.
Don't be a bandwagoner.
It's not a bandwagoner. You can't bandwagon the Jets, bro.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
If there was a year to do it, it would be next year.
Bro, it's me and Fireman Ed on a bus. That's it.
Listen,
there's plenty of room.
Y'all gonna have a lot of company next year. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
don't switch up.
No.
You on the right bus.
Yep. But anyways, everybody, it's been the Day One Podcast. We appreciate y'all listening more than you could possibly imagine. It's fun. Whether you're watching this live, you're watching this back on YouTube, make sure you like, make sure you comment, subscribe. We are live every Thursday, sometime between 7 and 8. It just depends on if Anthony's girl interrupts us.
Or yours.
But, now mine. Could be mine. But we'll see. Whether you're on a boat, on a bus, or a plane, you can get the Day One Podcast content anywhere. So stop being poor. Get a second job so you can pay for unlimited data. So that way you can listen to the Day One Podcast, whether you're in a car, whether you're at a restaurant getting some coffee, or you're at, work and you don't want to do nothing. You can take a listen to the show because you don't want to go anywhere. The NFL season may be over, but our season's still going because we do this shit all year round. So make sure you lock in. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm Kyle. That's Anthony. See y'all later.
Peace.